For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special group of guests. We have Blooming Fire. How's it going today, guys?
Hey, what's up, Tom?
Hey.
Well, first off, before we jump into everything, I want to thank you all for taking the time to jump on here and chat. I'm really excited to get to learn more about y'all and what you got going on. I was listening to some of your music on Spotify as I was kind of driving around working today, and I'm really digging it. And so I'm really excited to see what you guys got coming up. I was reading you guys got a full-length album getting ready to come out, so I'm really excited to talk about that. And yeah, so before we kind of jump into all that excitement, can you guys kind of give us an origin story, how you guys came together, how Blooming Fire came into existence?
How we
congeal.
Well, Ian and I, we've been together since he was born. I was 7 years old when Ian was born, so we're 7 years apart. We're brother and sister. A lot of people know that, some people don't. It's kind of a fun little thing in our band. But Dryden and I are actually who started. I met him about 7 years ago, and yeah, we met at a musicians jam party. It's pretty much a party for musicians to come together and just jam in pure chaos and bliss. And I showed up super late because I was coming from another concert. And I'm like, oh, screw it. I'll just go anyway and see if they're still playing, and grab my sax, and which I was not the best sax player at the time. I mean, I played a bit, but I'm much farther along now. But anyway, I showed up super late, and they had pretty much one jam left before our buddy Blue was going to shut down the music for the night because it's in a residential area. And I, jammed out on my sax, maybe like 20, 30 people in the room, and Blue had everybody go outside. I'd never met Dryden before, but Blue is my buddy. He's also the original drummer in Blooming Fire. And yeah, we're like, oh, let's just jam us. So it was pretty much Blue, Dryden, and I in the room. And Dryden switched from guitar, I think, to keys. So he jumped on keyboard, and it was a real synth type of electronic sound. And I put my sax down, and I was just kind of singing freestyle, and Blue was on the drums. And yeah, I pretty much kind of just knew there was just instinctually something about Dryden that I was like, I really want to create music with you. And what are you doing? Are you in a band? And I was playing in a couple of things at the time, but I was really hungry and searching for, people to collaborate with that was going to really like a project that I was part of creating. So after we got done jamming, I laid it all out there on the table for Dryden, like the blunt girl that I am, and was like, this is what I want. This is what I love. Like, what are you doing? And then like a month later, we got together outside of the party, and we wrote like 3 originals in the first night that we ever were together, and pretty much have played music together ever since. I mean, the longest we've ever not played is like 2 weeks or something.
And even during the pandemic, that's saying something, like the fact that you guys.
I mean, at the very beginning of the pandemic, all of us, Ian, Robbie, and I, we lived together, and then Dryden lives on the other side of LA. But at the very beginning, we were apart for like a month and a half, 2 months. But that's it. Other than that, for the past like 7 years, we've played music together, and we've had original members come and go, but us 4 have been in the project pretty much since the beginning. Robbie came in really early on, like the first couple times we all were like first month we were playing, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it's just been the core 4 of us since the beginning, and we've kind of had to restart a couple times because of member changes and things like that. And that's kind of how we ended up, just us four.
Awesome. And then just for a lot of my listeners that aren't familiar with who you guys are, can we have everybody kind of introduce themselves and what they do or what instrument they play?
I'm Sierra Madre, and I sing and I play saxophone. I also like record sounds in nature and live sample nature sounds. I play a little guitar, but I'm mainly on the singing.
Awesome.
Hey guys, this is Robbie. I play drums and do a little bit of percussion and little electronic beats here and there. But yeah.
I'm Dryden. I play lead guitar in the band and keys.
And sings. He
Yeah.
sings.
Back vocals.
Yo, I'm Ian. I do the hip hop vocals. I play a little bit of keyboard, some key bass, play a little bit of percussion stuff. I help out with some of the video editing too.
Awesome. And then we're going to just go right back around the room. What got you guys each individually into music, or who introduced you to music?
Well, Ian and I.
Yeah, probably Sierra
ahead.
Sierra and my family. You know, my dad's still in a rock band right now, so music has been a huge part of our life, just to jamming out. And
yeah, our dad plays bass guitar. He's in a band in Cleveland. It's called Hoodich. They still go by Hoodich, right? Yeah, they go by Hoodich. But he's been in a bunch of bands our whole life before we were in the picture. And my mom and dad, they're not together anymore, but they actually met because my uncle and my dad, my mom's brother, were in a band together. So me and Ian were pretty much conceived from music.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a roll family, hippies, but more on that rock and roll side of the music. Same for them too.
Same for me. My dad was a guitar player.
Still plays. His dad still plays in a band also.
Still plays. He's trying to do like a Robin Trower, like 3-piece band right now. He's been really working on it. It's really tough for him because it's guitar and singing. So he's been really working hard at it. But yeah, just growing up with electric guitar around my face all the time was like, it was a dream. It really was. It was really cool.
Yeah, just like Sierra and Ian, my uncle was initially my first inspiration and get into music. At all the family gatherings, he would just play a plethora of Beatles songs. My mom just had this epic collection of vinyls. I remember before I was even in grade school, that's all I just spend my days listening. I learned how to work a record player in the late 80s, and I would just spend my days listening to those vinyls, and it just like immediately started to understand this language. Like it's like something and just turned on inside. And I'm like, I've been chasing that dragon ever since.
So follow-up question. Does she still have her vinyls?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
We have a ton of vinyls too. And our dad and our uncle was kind of who got me and Ian into music. And I was actually in a band with my uncle that introduced my parents when I was 7 years old. So it was adults and me singing, and it was kind of like a punk rock kind of sound. But yeah, we all of us played music in school too a little bit. Robbie was the least in school with music, but we were big choir nerds. And Dryden and
started on cello.
Yeah, started on cello. I actually started on violin. Then I moved and they didn't have orchestra, so I had to switch to a band instrument. Didn't last long in band because I didn't want to do marching band.
Do you still get down on the violin?
I don't play violin now.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet. No, I ended up switching to sax when I was in like 5th grade. So it's been a long time. I played sax in school from like 5th to 9th. So that's like 4 years. And then I quit and I didn't play again until my senior year of college. And then even then I didn't really get really serious about my sax again until like the last like couple of years, where I've been really like committed to getting better and mastering my instrument. It's been mainly lyrics and writing and stuff like that. But Robbie, he picked up the drum kit at how old were you?
I was 10 or 11. Yeah, I was young, but I was such a sports heavy guy growing up. So it was like, high school was like, you either did sports or band. And if you didn't start band at 6th grade, then you can't start at all.
Yeah.
So I got into drums like literally that fall of 6th grade. And it was like, I just would, that was kind of the last thing I would do of the day. Go to school, play sports, eat dinner, do homework. And then the last thing I could do is play drums. And if I got to do that every day, I was pretty content with life, you know, in the sense of like,
Yeah.
I'm playing sports, but I get to play drums at the end of the day. So once high school was over, I was like, drums, music, it's going first. And so once that happened, it was just, it didn't stop.
Nice.
So
Yeah, watching all the Keith Moon. What are the videos you always watched?
Neil Peart.
Neil Peart videos.
Yeah.
He watched all the DVDs.
Nice.
That was, yeah, it was a,
Like the learning DVDs.
Oh.
it was a ritual watching like a legend before I go to bed. You know, like that was,
yeah.
that was part of the routine. So.
And what, Dryden, how old were you started playing guitar?
I realized at a very early age, like I would pick out melody lines from songs that I knew and I could play them by ear on the piano and guitar. And one day my mom came in my room, I think I was about 11 or 12, and I was playing this Beatles song, just playing the melody. She said, "We're going to get you some guitar lessons." And then around that time, that's when I started focusing more on where I could take it and started learning chords. And then that journey hasn't stopped since.
Yeah. So I was the youngest, 7 years old. I started writing the lyrics. No.
But I was doing like music videos at like 5 or 6, dancing,
gosh.
trying to be a lead singer, but that was terrible.
So, Robbie and Dryden, where are you guys originally from?
St. Louis, Missouri for me.
Ooh, awesome.
Outskirts of St. Louis, like about.
I think you'll appreciate the maybe, I don't know, Southern Illinois.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There you
That's
go.
where I went to college. So
Okay, nice.
Southern Illinois, that's
Carbondale.
yes.
Yeah.
So Scott, gosh, the main reason why I'm out in LA is Scott. He graduated college out there.
Oh wow.
And Scott was the main reason how I got, was a huge reason why I got to come out to LA, because a bunch of business leading up to LA,
Mm-hmm.
and he had to do this huge road trip, and I got to go along with the ride. He had this huge 4x4 Ford, put on my drums, and man, Scott, Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
Shout out, Scott.
Out there.
It's so funny because this hoodie's been sitting out in my car for the last 3 months. And I was like, I'm going to bring it in because it gets cold in my apartment when I do these podcasts, because I shut like the heat off and what have you. And for whatever reason today, I was just like, no, I should put it on. I have a feeling. And then of course,
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Always trust your instincts.
Scott
Oh, yeah.
Gooden's the last name. Scott Gooden.
okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Shout
Dryden,
out.
you're from
I'm from Northern Virginia. Yeah, I grew up on Bull Run Mountain, so kind of secluded, but it was also a great opportunity for me to like really just tap into nature at a very early age, and that just opened up Pandora's box for inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
So, Haymarket, Virginia. I was born in Fairfax Hospital, DC, and then when I was about around 2, then I went to Bull Run Mountain, which is about an hour from DC. So I grew up in the boonies.
Nice.
It's not so boony.
Ian and I did too. I mean, I grew up like half of my life in the city, and then
Mhm.
Ian and we moved to the middle of nowhere, and we're from Cleveland originally, and
Yeah.
then I was like 11 or 12, and we moved to Hartsgrove, Ohio.
Okay. Nice. You know, I've only been to Cleveland once, and I was going there to shoot a documentary. And the guy didn't tell me we were going to the worst part of Cleveland. That it was we were in Parma, I guess is the name of it.
Parma isn't like, when you say worst part, you mean like boring?
No, he said it was the worst, but I was just like, okay. But I think it was Parma.
Boring.
That sounds about right. But anyways, so what's that?
It's very like suburban and like boring now.
Okay.
My worst.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. So so you guys are all from all over the country, and you met in California. You guys been playing together for about 7 years, you said?
Yeah, 7 years. We restarted as a 4-piece about 2 years ago. I mean, give or take, because we had other people we were kind of playing with, but we've been a solid 4-piece for about 2 years.
Mhm.
Working on the album. I mean, we haven't been working on the album for 2 years because kind of what happened is we parted ways with 2 of our original members who are brothers of ours, and we still love them dearly. But people, life changes. People start having babies, getting married, and we weren't all on the same page anymore. And we all really wanted to pursue music heavily and commit to come into the studio more and put more time in. And not everybody's on that same path. So we all decided to kind of part ways. And then the four of us got together. And when that time happened, we really, I mean, it was very heartbreaking. It was really emotional and hard for us to figure out how we were going to do what we've done without the two members that we weren't going to play with anymore, because Dryden was playing lead keys, not lead guitar.
No guitar.
And then that's no bass player. So pretty much Dryden had to step into lead guitar playing, and then Ian and I had to start stepping in on keys and bass lines. And we were also like, okay, well, we need to kind of rebrand, and we need to promote music that we've written. So we pretty much, when it became us four, we wrote the Dunya EP, the second release we have out. We wrote that in like 2 months. We wrote and recorded it within 2 months. So it was very rushed process. We were thrown into the situation because we were just so hungry to have something out that we could promote that was just us. It was awesome. I mean, it was challenging and rushed. And when we listen back to those songs and how we play them now, you know, they definitely had a lot of growth that could have happened, but we're proud of them still. And it was cool because we got to record it at Fullerton College out here with a bunch of grad students, like master students, with like a professor who has been in the music industry for a long time, and Doc Goldstein, who's a badass, and we love him. He can outsit us when it comes to mixing. He sat for what, 14 hours?
Yeah, 12 to 14 hours.
Yeah, he sat one day. We're like, let's take a break. Let's go eat.
No restroom break, not eating.
And he's
like
70 years old. So he's like awesome. He's worked on the Star Wars soundtrack, and he's worked with
Frank Zappa,
Ringo Starr. He's a really cool guy. So it was a really like special opportunity that we got to just throw those songs together, get in this big giant studio college, and we were in like a giant band room, actually, speaking of band, and recorded Dunya. And so then we toured. I booked our entire first tour, and paid gigs, which was awesome. I couldn't believe we even had a paid tour, and we didn't make much, but we pretty much broke even, besides buying our van that broke down twice.
That is the hardest part, is just trying to break even.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it was a huge stress and learning experience for me to like just be our manager on so many levels, like to book all these shows and like learn how to communicate with venues and all of that. And you know, it was really cool to like learn how to do that. But I'm very thankful that we have a little bit more help now. We're working with a team called B Squared, and still self-managing, and we're still totally independent, but they help us kind of do a lot of that stuff. But we're not playing shows right now, so we don't got to worry about it. But soon.
Yeah, it's you know, it's an interesting time, because it's like musicians, there's really no time to take off, because it's like, you got to make a living somehow. During the pandemic, have you guys been experimenting with like the virtual shows, since especially out in California, there's been absolutely no live shows?
A little bit. The hard thing, here's the thing, is musicians always get the short end of the stick. You know, people can use our music whenever, however, they can listen to it whenever, however. We barely get a payout for any of that kind of stuff. And that's all musicians, people that are farther along in their career and where we're at. So we played a couple live streams, but this year we did set aside to really focus on writing, because in the past, all I've ever done is try to play as many shows as we possibly can and like squeeze in time to write. So it kind of worked out in our favor that there wasn't the pressure of shows and this opportunity to play all these gigs, because we really did need to put that time in for writing. And we realize it even more now that we're like in the demoing version, like side of our songs. We're really far along in a lot of these songs. We're at the final demo stage in many of them. And I think that process would have been more drawn out if we didn't have this past year to do that.
Nice. Before we jump into your new album that you're currently working on, what's kind of the writing process for the band? Who handles most of the writing? Is it a group effort? What's kind of that process like?
It's a group effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the past we've always written from jams, like we'll all jam out and you know, you hear the hooks or you hear certain moments in a jam that you're like, oh, that's a sweet spot. We know there's something there. And we're constantly recording our jams on my phone. And we'll pull things from a jam. Now we still do that, but we're also producing on the computer. So we're using both. We're like, sometimes we'll start with like one little produced section of a song on the computer and work it that way. I don't know if you guys want to elaborate on that a little bit more, the process, especially it's changed from how it was before to how we're doing the album.
Like when we were like a 7-piece, 6-piece band, it was
in the room.
It was
blood,
in the room,
sweat, and tears.
Kind of just jamming, flowing. and when you know, Steve and Daniel left, you know, the band, we were like, we need to incorporate the computer. And Dunya is a kind of a reflection of using the computer kind of as a fifth member of the band. And
almost because we had to, you know, we needed something to hold down the bass line and we needed something to kind of help us piece it together. So we would use, you know, maybe a generic beat just to start off, and then Dryden would lay down psychedelic keyboard line. And, you know, I'm constantly writing lyrics and stuff and inserting them where they need to be. Like lyrics will just hit me during the middle of the night or out when I'm walking or something. And I'll pull up a lyric that I feel fits with something the guys are creating or not.
But yeah, we kind of like what we kind of realized last year going into this year with writing was mix it both. We can't just do the computer. We can't just do live. We got to do both.
Yeah. If we're on the computer too long, we start getting real like antsy, tensions get high. Like we still need to jam it out in our bodies.
We need vibrations.
Yeah. It's helping us get cleaner on our production. And that's what we're really excited about with the album is I think these songs are really a huge growth for us. Like it really has pushed us to really get tight with our writing. And the songs I think are even better than anything we've written before for sure. And we've noticed that like as we're getting closer, because we're kind of like we'll jam it and we'll track it. So we'll start tracking it. Oh, let's get the real guitar line down, like get these like vocals down, and then we can splice it up and fix it, and then we have to go back again. But once the song gets to that point, that's when we take it back to making sure we're playing it live and feeling the spirit of rock and roll like in our bodies, live music, raw. Like we don't want that super overproduced sound that everybody's making these days. I think music sounds way too fake and way too produced and way too perfect, and that's not.
We don't like playing the backing tracks that we have to play to. We might have backing tracks that are going on, but
it's something we created. Like if there's a backing track, it's like played live, like electronically with
we'll record it
MIDI and stuff like that. Totally. And we never want the computer to be writing for us. Like we are the writers.
We're at the helm.
We're at the helm. Those computers are taking over.
So I mean, I take it like when you're writing down, are you more pen to paper or do you do like the voice memo thing and the
vocally it's like both. I have several that I use. Like right now for the album I have 2 notebooks that's actual pen to paper that I'm writing things out. I'm constantly doing writes in my note section on my that's just so I can just get it quick enough, because sometimes when it's you, like if you don't write it down right away, it's gone. So sometimes I'll do like voice to text in a note or just quickly type it. But we do use like the voice memo section or like that little app. We use that religiously. Both for my own personal lyrics, and then when we're jamming something through, instead of getting the whole computer hooked up and all the miking and all this, the iPhone captures stuff beautifully. You can jam a song that we're working on, capture it on the phone, and listen back that way and start adjusting the writing or the structure and things like that.
Gotcha. That's awesome. So you guys are working on a new album, your debut full length, correct? Because you've released the 2 EPs prior. Do you have how far in or how far along are you? You're in the recording process, right? Correct?
Kind of.
Or
We're in like the demoing process. I mean,
okay.
this is like the whole process is a new process for us
Yeah.
Okay.
because everything else we've done has been like totally DIY and like figuring it out. Like even working with the students, like that was a connection we made, and we went in there like ready. They didn't produce anything. Like Doc didn't really change anything in our songs or anything like that. For this process, we had like a drawing board of about like 50 songs, give or take, maybe a little bit more. And we started kind of like slowly narrowing that down, working through songs. Now we have like 21 songs. Some of them are like close, like I said, to the final demo. And this was something I kind of learned. I was really stressed out about this all last year. Like, okay, how do people get from a song to like the album song? Like,
Yeah.
what is that process? What is a demo? What is all of this stuff? And I highly recommend checking out the podcast. I guess it's a new thing on Netflix too, but it's been for a long time called Song Exploder. And
Okay.
that actually gave me clarity on how we should kind of write and become stronger writers. And that's kind of, it leads in all that stuff that we're talking about. We've been like using the computer and live and like getting it closer and closer to the demo. And what the demo is like the closest version of the song before you go and record it in a professional studio.
Gotcha.
So our demo versions right now, decent equipment, you know, we have an Apollo interface and
Yeah.
some decent mics, but nothing too crazy. And pretty much just try to get the spirit and the energy and the emotion of the pieces of the song all there down. And then the next process will be recording it with a producer. And we have started connecting with producers and having
Nice.
a couple people hear our demos. And there's a very big biter out there right now that we can't share yet.
Yep.
But we're
very,
very,
very
excited and
Nice.
extremely honored that he would even take the time to listen to our songs and give us, you know, feedback and advice. And we're kind of still connecting all the dots and seeing what we're going to be able to do. But as of right now, we're just going to get all those songs as close to possible. We're planning to record the songs, the final version of everything, hopefully in May. We're kind of on this teeter-totter with COVID. Obviously, everybody is.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, record them in May, work on some music videos and things like that. And hopefully the album will be out at the end of the year or early 2022.
Nice. Awesome. Well, what kind of went into the song selection process? Because I know that's always interesting. Did you guys specifically write for this album, or did you guys, because you're always writing, you just kind of started cherry picking?
Kind of, I would say, I mean, we're always writing. We always need to have fresh jams going. So even when we're really solidly working on a couple songs, we'll still jam, get it out of our system, that new like birth of a song. But we kind of, the album's been kind of pulling itself together. We don't really feel fully in control of that vehicle. It's interesting, the songs that are shining the brightest that fit onto the album, like I kind of molded themselves to kind of all like fit onto the album. I mean, you want to elaborate on that, Dryden? Because you always say it so well.
Yeah, it's almost, we're like the catalyst of experience. And when you let go of your ego, there's this sort of magnetic force or pull. We call it the spirit of blooming fire, if you will. And it kind of takes over. And like Sierra said, it molds itself. It's really miraculous to watch this unfold.
I mean, some of the songs, it'll be like a song we wrote years ago that wasn't ever really fully written or like played live or something. Yeah, way back shelf, a jam in the phone, and it'll kind of rebirth itself. Like a couple of these songs have come back up, changed. Like the writing style has changed because of what the album sound is developing into. It definitely has a congruent sound. I feel like in our EPs, like they're kind of all over the place. We're kind of experimenting a very demo side of Blooming Fire. This I feel like has really taken a form. It's really, it's kind of like soul music, like funk, soul.
Definitely a different style, different kind of
Yeah.
genre for sure.
My uncle, who Ian and I were talking about, he's heard some of the demos and he says it has like this R&B kind of
Mhm.
style to it. But I mean, it's still live rock and roll
They're
at the end of the day.
psychedelic,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
it's
still
still dancey.
alternative music,
Yeah.
but
Roll.
all the songs definitely have a congruent vibe and definitely aligning with a certain message.
Mhm. Yeah.
We're definitely still political in the album.
Yeah.
But we've learned how to make it a little bit more universal, and really our intention behind the album is to capture the essence of the connection we all have to nature, as animals that we are, as humans that we are. I mean, what does that mean to all of us? Like, what is our connection to nature, and why is that so important?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's fair to say that the upcoming album will be blooming fire in its realest and rawest form?
Definitely.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
wording, Tom.
I was sitting here, I was like, yep, that's exactly what it sounds like. So
yeah.
I know this is like way early in the process, but do you have aspirations of doing like vinyl pressings? Because I know that's like making a huge comeback. Is that an aspiration for you guys?
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, I think it was lagging. What was
Oh,
the last part?
No, I was just saying because vinyl's making such a huge comeback. Is that an aspiration for you guys?
Yeah, we're looking forward to pressing vinyl.
Definitely,
for sure.
definitely.
We all collect. So.
Yeah.
We all collect vinyl. We have a couple record players, and we listen to vinyl all the time. We actually in our house don't really listen to vinyl more than anything else, but we have a fan group called and many of them have been requesting vinyl, so we're like, okay, we got to do this. It's
Yeah.
time.
I mean, how can we not?
I know.
Yeah.
So we'll probably take a limited press first to see how it
we were
sells
talking about maybe putting like both our EPs
onto one
on
vinyl, maybe.
We've been talking about. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of bands, even bigger bands, they just do like limited pressing vinyls, like because you can do so much with vinyl these days.
Yes.
They'll do like, oh, get one of our gold records, one of 150, or like whatever it is, and it's just really cool because it's like A, it's a collector's item, B, it's a piece of art, which ultimately, and
That's
then
vinyl's so cool because it's so.
yeah, I'm waiting for my buddy's band. He lives in Nashville. They just recorded a new album, and I bought one of their vinyls, and the actual vinyl is all tie-dye.
Nice.
Sweet.
And so I'm just sitting here, I'm like, I just want to watch it spin round and round on my record player. Like, I really don't even, because
look for the subliminal
Yeah.
messages.
Yeah. The vortex.
Man.
I've already listened to the record 2 or 3 times. It's like, I just kind of want to see the vinyl go around and around because I think it'll look amazing. So
Well, we'll make sure we make the vinyl very something to look at too.
Yeah.
nice, awesome. I was talking to a buddy today because he collects like baseball cards and he's like really into that stuff. I was like, do you think vinyl will make a comeback like that? Because like just collector's items where everybody's buying it. Because like, you're starting to see it out in Target where they're doing like repressings and whatnot. But I'm hoping for the day that we start seeing like record stores come around. Like, I know in some bigger cities you have like small time record stores, but
yeah, we have quite a few record stores in LA
Yeah.
that are still hanging on by a thread right now. But yeah, I agree. I hope so too.
yeah, because you can get them on
2 years in a row. Yeah.
Well, CDs suck, but people still want CDs.
Yeah.
the trippy thing is that cassette tapes are making a comeback.
Yeah, they are.
That tapes, I always thought that's crazy because then you even have, because a lot of people don't have a cassette player.
Yeah, well, and cassettes just sound terrible. Like there's nothing. There's
I'm
like
not doing a cassette, so don't get excited,
Yeah.
cassette lovers.
Bottom line, it's just cool to have something tangible.
Yeah.
Like having a vinyl, it's the biggest tangible form of music you can possess. So
Yeah.
it's just like you're looking at a poster and you can take something out of the poster
Right.
and it plays music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Yeah, absolutely. like somebody was telling me about the cassette thing, I was just like, okay, maybe it's just like a cheap form of being able to like do your own pressing and recording and whatnot. And then I went to Amazon and started looking at blank cassettes, and it's like, this isn't even cheap. You're paying like for a 6-pack HQ cassette tapes, you're paying like 30 or 40 bucks. I'm like,
Right.
it's not even cheap. So yeah, I was trying to figure out the method behind that madness.
Not into the cassette game.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
records are different. Records, like, even though they weren't in as much for a period of time, they were always in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know.
The music fan always enjoyed records. So I'm really like, and even for me, anytime I go to a show, if somebody has vinyl, like if whatever music they have recorded, if they have it on vinyl, I'm gonna pay the $35 or whatever it is for that. So
That's Robbie too.
Oh yeah.
it's like like even if I don't have any real intention on listening to it, it's just like I just want that piece of art. That's me.
And well, us musicians appreciate that.
Yeah.
So you guys are in the demoing process of the new album, and you guys are working towards actually recording. What else are you guys working on for 2021? Or is that like the big?
You got a minute?
Yeah, we're working on a lot. I
It's a
mean,
busy year for us.
yeah, right now we're up, like we've only done one video for it, but right now we're starting up like a little challenge to ourselves called Do It for the Dunya. And it's about, kind of bringing back, rebranding our old EP, but kind of challenging ourselves to do it for the earth, like different things we could do for the earth. And we're really challenging ourselves to that. Little things you could do in your life that's more sustainable, or like beach cleanups and stuff like that. We're gonna actually put out a couple music videos from the old EP just while we're working towards that album to give people like more stuff to watch. We'll definitely do probably like a live video or two, like a professional, like of us playing one of our songs live.
Nice.
Definitely one or two in nature as well, like where we use our solar panels, because we did a little solar show on Earth Day to like try, but we want to like do an acoustic style like set or a song and video that and use all solar panels to like record the whole thing.
Nice.
Like I mentioned, we have our Earth Heads, our fan group, but we're creating like a Patreon style group called Inside the Fire, and that's going to have like all kinds of private content, and you'll get like VIP merch, like special exclusive merch that's for that, like hoodies and posters and stuff like that. And we'll have like Zoom hangouts, like one-on-one Zoom hangouts with our fans and things like that. That's going to probably come out in like the next 2 months. It takes a lot of work to get something like that together, but definitely could use the support, and doing a Patreon is awesome. And I think we have a lot of fans now that would support us in that way. And boys,
more live streaming.
Some live streaming, not a ton.
I think live streaming's kind of lost its prestige or whatever, or its luster or whatever it was, because it was like one of those things where at the beginning of the pandemic, it's like, oh my God, we don't know when we're going to do shows again. And then it's just like, as it went on, it's like, unless you have like a really good interface and know how to route everything, it really doesn't sound all that good.
When we went live for a show that long, Spin Cycle Presents, who's awesome. They do shows in LA and elsewhere, but shout out Keith, but Keith Erickson. But yeah, we ran into glitch and all kinds of stuff, and we're like directly in with the internet, and it's more frustrating. It's so time consuming energetically that I think we'll probably do one big live stream show that we're doing full sound, and we're gonna hook the soundboard into the live stream, and we'll definitely do some more like smaller type of live stream. Always be looking out for live streams on like our Instagram stories and things like that. Join our fan group. We have Earth Heads, like we do live streaming in there a lot. Every once in a while we play music live, but we're going live in there a lot, like doing Q&As. We actually have a private Q&A tonight after this, but stuff like that, videos galore, and just working towards that album.
New merch.
New merch. Yeah, we're almost sold out of our VIP bundle. that we have, which is like a water bottle. We have 6 left actually of our VIP bundle. And then the next one, yeah, we're gonna have all new merch for that. So yeah, get on our mailing list, get on our fan list, follow us.
I was actually in the process of filling out the little form for the mailing list, and then you guys jumped on, and I was like, "Oh, time to go to work," and I'll get back to that. So, but I got to do a little self promotion here. You guys mentioned something about doing like a live performance video. That's how we got our start. So hit me up when we get done here. We can try and, if you don't already have somebody that does them, let me know.
Yeah,
Oh.
definitely.
Like obviously the whole LA, like trying to make it out to LA would have to play a big factor, but you know,
and
that's,
I mean, if we start touring by the end. I mean, that's the other thing is we do hope that things are going to open up, and we do plan to play live towards summer and fall. I mean,
Yeah.
that's definitely in the works.
I am seeing a lot of like the music festivals and stuff are still like starting in, I think it's like March is the earliest one I've seen. Like starting in March, there's music festivals that are still planning on doing in-person events, whether it's like at half capacity or whatever it is. But it's also a lot of festivals that are in Texas, a lot of festivals that are in Florida, you know, places that are a little bit more open. But it is promising to see that shows are starting to happen, bigger festivals are starting to happen, so it is promising, and hopefully by the summer
Yeah. I mean,
we're back.
for us, that's going to be right. Like the beginning of summer is right when we're going to be recording. So we probably won't be playing shows out until after that process, just to not stress ourselves out. But, you know, we want everyone to stay safe out there. And it is important to realize that, you know, we're not out of the water yet. You know,
Yeah.
we're still in it. So.
Absolutely, so outside of music, what are like, I mean, I know you guys are like big outdoors enthusiasts. You do like, I've seen a lot of the photos and whatnot. You guys do snowboarding, hiking, you know, you guys are very adventurous outside, stuff that I wish I just had the stamina to do. What are some of your hobbies outside of music?
We hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Nature. No, I mean, I love cooking. I'm a passionate cook. Yeah. What else do we do, boys?
I skateboard down mountain roads.
Yeah.
I go like 40 miles per hour. That's big slide.
Yeah, downhill
Snowboarding, yeah.
longboarding, snowboarding, skateboarding, roller skating.
Skydiving.
Yes. Yeah.
Can't wait to go again.
I know.
Yes.
But yeah, you know, just spending time in nature, giving back to nature, and really just educating ourselves on how to live more sustainably. We have a dream of buying land and building cob homes. I don't know if you ever heard of cob. CO. It's a style of building.
Mm-hmm. I've seen, I don't know exactly what cob homes are, but like I've seen similar situations when I was living out in New Mexico.
Yeah, totally. So does the earth ships?
Not earth ships, but these were homes that were essentially made out of recycled bottles. It was like mud huts, but made out of recycled bottles. And then they had this whole system to like keep the place cool and warm. Like it was really interesting. It was called
it's called passive solar. Solar heating.
There you go. Yep.
You pretty much position the house a certain way so the sun, where the sun rises and sets during the entire year, will actually heat your home.
Yeah. They're called foxholes is what they was like.
Oh yeah, those are the drafts. Like
those are the draft
those
holes.
are cool.
Yeah.
The big thing in earth ships as well is the foxholes, but
especially in desert when you get a lot of wind flow.
Yeah.
When you get a lot of wind, those foxholes are huge.
Definitely, but yeah, I mean that's definitely in our 5-10 year plan right now, is to be building off-grid homes, and it's incredible what you can do.
Yeah.
Cost wise, I mean, to own a home these days, to buy a house, you're going to spend at least $100,000 to $300,000.
Yep.
Build what we're talking about, and the earth ship's a whole nother story. Those are very expensive, but to build like a shipping container house or a cob house, I mean, these are very affordable ways to to really own something or have something and invest in your future and not be in debt for the rest of your life that like they want us to be.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and creating waste, you know.
Right.
We're talking about building.
Yeah. I mean, the way we're building is
dirt,
so wasteful.
with the dirt underneath your feet. It's kind of wild. The Cobb building is.
Yeah, because Cobb is pretty much, it's clay, it's sand if you want to have sand, but apparently that's like a North American thing. We just learned that you know, Cobb is the oldest form of building in the world.
Very
And-
popular in Europe.
Yeah, it's like
Very-
the oldest building standing today on the planet is made out of Cobb, and it's pretty much clay and
Water,
hay,
yeah.
or not hay, straw. I should not say hay. I'm gonna be like
Hey.
the sustainability communities. You'd be like, this girl doesn't know, but no, it's straw and mud, and you make a pretty much a mud house, but
Mhm.
not like a mud house. Like these houses are beautiful adobe structures. They're not like mud hut looking. I mean,
Yeah.
some are, of course, but you can make them very smooth and clean and beautiful and aesthetically just. I mean, that's where I want to live. I want to live in a little Hobbit
Hobbit
hill.
homes. Yeah, it looks like
Hobbit
I
hill.
want to be in the Shire.
Ian's gonna need a tall Hobbit hill.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
be like Gandalf.
He's like Gandalf tall,
standing.
right?
He's all like,
I could only imagine how tall he is because everybody else is kind of comfortably sitting on that couch, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's 6'3", so
I
And
got you.
5'2".
Yeah,
So it's so funny that we're brother and sister. He's like way taller than me.
you got the height.
Nice. Awesome. So one of the things that we like to do on Live and Amplified is we want to pass on knowledge to the younger generation. We want to make sure like musicians that are maybe getting their start in music or maybe getting ready to take that first big step into music, get off on the right foot. So I want to ask you guys one very simple question. What's one thing that you've learned throughout your career that you wish you knew when you first got started? And you guys can answer individually, as a collective, however you want to answer it.
There's a lot I could share. Dryden, you have anything off the top of your head?
For me, I mean, you know, we grew up on, you know, the eclectic bands and roots of 60s and 70s, and you know, bands in the 90s were really into that alternative scene. And you see like how bands make it. You know, you try really hard, and you know, a record company picks you up, and then you have it made. And now it's like it's just a completely different dynamic
Right.
as far as like self-promotion and social media. And I couldn't have possibly known any of this, you know, growing up, knowing that this is what we're going to be getting ourselves into. And I guess like, you know, if I had some of the knowledge that I do now and then, and like, you know, amp it up 10 years, it's like, you know, I guess I kind of wish I possessed a little more knowledge with the social media game.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's such a huge part of the role. Like it you know, and I think for younger grades, it's going to be easier for them because it's so part of their being. But all of us, we're lucky enough to not grow up with social media being a part of it. So we were that in between, kind of in it, but definitely still not. So we've really had to like figure out how to, you know, ride that game a little bit. But you know, I would say outside of the business and all of it being kind of weird and changing, and money being like, you know, money's just not there like it was before for musicians, unfortunately. But all of that put aside, I would say, you know, you got to just play for the heart. You got to play for yourself. You know, you can't create music to make it these days. You really just have to create something that you connect to and can stand behind, and that feels good, and that gives you some kind of release of, you know, that makes you feel human, and people are going to connect to that. You know, people are going to, they want to know what makes you tick and what pisses you off and what makes you feel loved, and that's really what it all comes down to. And you know, keep doing it, keep playing. We need more young people playing instruments, you know, don't fully rely on the computer. And even though social media is such a huge aspect of all of it, you have to remember to have fun with it. Like for us in the beginning, social media stressed us out.
Yeah.
We're like, how are we
Social
gonna
media
do
still
this?
stresses me
How are we
out.
gonna do this many things? Or like, what are we gonna, you know, now we just are like, you know what, if it happens, if it gets posted, it gets posted. We're having fun with it.
Yeah.
And it's becoming easier and easier. And we're reminding ourselves, like, we're in this to play music, not to dance around like monkeys. Even though it's fun to dance like monkeys sometimes. It's about balance, it's about balance. It's important to unplug and to turn that side of it off and to remember that music is what connects all of us.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
passion, let that passion permeate, and whatever it is you need to do to, that passion that's in your soul, it's there.
Yeah, and it takes practice too.
Practice does,
music, playing an instrument, all this stuff. Like that's another thing of the computer age that I think is kind of taken out that aspect of it. It's so easy for anyone to make a song right now. You can make anybody's voice sound good. You can make a beat in 2 seconds, which is awesome. I'm not hating on any of that, but I also it takes time. If you don't put the work in on the sax, if you don't put the work in on the guitar, you're not going to get better. You just got to take time with it and commit.
Awesome. So before we end the podcast, we're going to jump into what's becoming my favorite segment. And normally this is a rapid fire question scenario, but since there's 4 of you, I don't know how rapid fire this is really going to be.
Go in order or something.
Yeah. Well, and usually it's timed. You have 30 seconds, but we're going to bend the rules since there's 4 of you. But I'm going to ask you guys 10 random questions. They could be anything. They could be literally anything. I have a random question generator in front of me. So I'm going to ask you these questions and just first thing that pops into your mind.
All right, we're going to start with Ian, and then we're going to go this way.
Yeah. Okay, Ian. That works.
Starting with Ian.
Okay. You still? All right. Question 1. Do you still have your tonsils?
Yes. Yeah.
All of us.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Favorite lunch meat?
Anything that isn't actual animal. Anything vegan.
Tofurkey.
Field roast.
Nice. Red or pink?
Pink.
Red.
Pink.
Last thing you ate?
Oh, I don't even know. Oh, a burrito from Tacos Tu Madre.
Nice.
Tortilla chips and habanero salsa.
Trail mix.
Dal and rice.
One song you wish you wrote?
Anything from Rage Against the Machine.
Hell yes.
Oh yeah.
Wish you Pink Floyd.
Gangster Paradise from Tupac.
Nice.
That's actually Gangster Paradise. That's Coolio.
Coolio.
Mine would be.
I don't know.
I shouldn't be swearing. I'm doing this for younger people. Mine would be. I can't even think of the song right now. Beatles song that I always.
Let It Be.
Let It Be. Duh. This is what happens when you're on rapid fire. Let It Be by the Beatles. That's my favorite song. I wish I wrote that.
Question 5. First thing you notice about people when you first meet them?
Eyes, I guess. Like to look people in the face at the most I can.
Yeah, first thing I notice is their aura, their vibes.
Smile, smile.
I'm gonna have to go with aura or vibes. You stole mine, Dryden. Just
damn.
overall energy someone puts off.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you type fast?
On my phone, if it was on an actual computer, no.
I'm a fast typer.
Scale of 1 to 10, probably 5.
5, no way. It's
No
a 2.
way. He's yeah.
For me, it's probably on a scale of 1 to 10, 11.
Nice. Your favorite smell?
Smell?
Yes.
Breakfast food. Gets my mouth watering.
Nice.
Incense.
Incense, huh?
Popcorn.
God, popcorn's
Yeah,
so
Robbie's
good.
popcorn smells.
I'm gonna have to say the smell of fall because in California we don't really get that, and we went to Tennessee earlier this year, and I literally, when I got off the plane and I smelled fall again for the first time, I cried, and I just realized that crisp air.
There's nothing like it.
Nice. One random fact about yourself.
God, I have terrible knowledge about myself. I already gave the coolest
Rapid
fact
fire.
about myself. Oh, I'm an Scout, actually certified. I went all the way
Nice.
to Boy Scout, Eagle Scout certification. What's up?
Me too. Me too.
He's an
Um,
Eagle Scout too.
Oh, you are too? That's
Yep.
awesome. I am a stand-up comedian.
Nice.
I have a web foot. Like it's like 2 toes connect
Ew, don't tell people that.
on my left foot, and I
Ugh.
suck at swimming.
I never really noticed it.
I didn't know you sucked at swimming.
I'm not good at swimming, so I thought I'd be better, but
Oh my gosh. I guess mine would be, God, there's so many, but I do fire dancing and aerial arts. So I'm really into like the circus performance stuff.
Okay, this is the most random question I've seen come out of here.
Oh, boy.
Nice.
If blue is green, pink is red, what color is orange?
blue is what?
If blue is
If
green,
blue's green
if
and
red is orange,
Pink is
No, red is pink.
red
if
is
red
pink,
is pink,
orange is yellow.
orange is
orange
yellow.
is
then.
yellow. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Boom.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
Nice.
teamwork.
Nice.
Teamwork. Teamwork
band.
makes the dream work.
Purple.
That's why we're a band.
Whoa.
Yeah, orange is purple.
No,
Orange is purple.
That's blue
Orange is the
fire.
new purple.
That's
Yeah,
blue
orange,
fire.
orange and purple are the bloom and fire colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no yellow, purple.
Uh, are you sarcastic?
Yes.
I was when I first moved to California, and
Yeah.
everyone like not hate me, but they just didn't get it. And then I wasn't for the longest time.
People in Cleveland are very sarcastic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am bringing it back. So
Yeah.
you watch
Callie
out.
tried to steal it from me and Ian, but
We,
Better
we,
watch out.
we're bringing it back.
we call it Jonesing in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard of that down there in Southern Illinois. Jonesing.
I was always called the grumpy old man in college because I was so yeah, I don't know.
Are you sarcastic?
Very. Oh, I am very sarcastic. And because I'm originally from Chicago, that's where I lived for like
yeah.
Oh,
You
most,
know, you already know.
and so I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I go
People-
down to Southern Illinois and it's like, I'm sorry guys.
Down in Texas, they think you're serious when you do that, huh?
Yeah. Well,
And same in Cali. Like if you're sarcastic out here, people are like,
So
they don't get it.
Right.
They're
So
like-
anyway,
and then final question. This is actually a fan submitted question. I liked it so much that I wanted to ask this question. One band, dead or alive, that you wish you could open up for.
Oh shit.
For me, it would have to be Rage Against the Machine again. They're just so powerful, and my style
Sublime,
is so much like
Sublime.
them.
I know there's the other Sublime, but we're talking about the real deal.
Okay.
If I could open up for Sublime, holy
Yeah.
shit.
The Beatles.
The Beatles, of course.
I say I think the best one would be Nirvana.
Oh, Nirvana! Yes.
We,
Nice.
Really amp up our rage.
we definitely mash, you know.
Nice.
Chili Peppers.
Those
would
are
be
They're
good
a
not
good
ones.
one.
dead or alive. It
Dead or
wasn't.
Yeah.
alive, dead or
We were
alive,
all
dead or
thinking
alive.
dead.
Yeah.
Dead or
Well,
alive.
you gravitate towards that option.
Yeah.
'Cause that's
Right.
magic.
So I have two stories here really quick. One about Rage Against the Machine and one about the other Sublime that you brought up.
Okay.
I was,
Sublime with Rome,
Roman.
right?
Yeah.
what's that?
Isn't it
Rome.
Sublime with Rome?
Oh, no, I was
They're really-
thinking of the dub or Long Beach Dub All Stars. The
Oh, yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
I like Long Beach Dub All Stars. I the real Sublime that still plays. That's,
yeah. I had a interview 2 weeks before COVID. I had an interview scheduled with the Long Beach Dub All Stars, and then COVID hit and the show got canceled. And they're like, yeah. So, and then about Rage, same scenario was when they were booking that little small comeback tour around the Southwest there. I was trying to hit them up in New Mexico, and of course, COVID came in and screwed that one up. But
If we had to open up for anybody right now as a band, I think we'd want to open up for The Movement.
nice.
Our band, The Movement.
I have not heard of them. I have to check them out.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Awesome. So, if people want to check you out on social media, listen to your music, where's the best place for them to do that?
Well, if you search Blooming Fire like a flower blooms, but Blooming Fire. Anywhere on the internet, you'll find us, but we highly recommend Spotify or YouTube for checking out our videos and our music. We need more Spotify love, so get on over there. But yeah, anywhere you type in Blooming Fire, we're there. We're Bandcamp, iTunes, anywhere, Amazon Music, all of it.
Awesome. And then we're gonna,
it's all the same.
and then we're gonna end with the most polarizing question I can possibly ask you.
Uh-oh.
Pineapple pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
With jalapeno.
With jalapeno.
I've never had anybody say jalapeno. Usually they go like either full Hawaiian with like ham and all that stuff. I've never heard anybody say jalapeno.
It's a hot sour. Yeah, it's like the pineapple cools down the jalapeno. It's a perfect marriage.
You could do the barbecue sauce too on that.
Nice.
Yeah, the Hawaiian barbecue with the jalapeno.
I'm hungry.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Nice. See,
That was a great question.
well, the reason I ask is because like growing up in Chicago, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Like that's rule one. And then as I started coming out of Chicago and moved away, I haven't lived there in about 12 years at this point. Yeah. And it's like everybody has pineapple on their pizza. I was like, yeah, that's definitely just a Chicago thing.
Kids now because we're all like yes to pineapple on the pizza.
That is awesome.
And it's good pineapple. Like there is nasty pineapple pizza out there still.
Oh,
yeah.
It's gotta be that fresh.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why California Pizza Kitchen is still a thing. Like that's not even good pizza.
Oh,
Overpriced. It's not good at all.
Like every once in a while I'll get their at Target or whatever, they'll have like the frozen pizza. If it's on sale, I'll get that just because it's like out of frozen pizza, it's probably one of the better options. But it's just like I can't believe people actually pay for like this fresh. It doesn't do me any good.
Yeah, no.
So.
Robbie's actually a pizza. He makes homemade pizza all the time. And even when we go camping, we make pizza over the fire with homemade dough.
It's the real deal, man.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. That's awesome. That's really amazing. But once again, I want to thank you guys so much for jumping on the podcast. I really appreciate it. It's been an absolute blast talking with y'all.
It was so much fun.
This is great.
Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you guys later.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. We are good.
Nice.